You won't believe what happened to Quinn Hanna Gray. One moment she's there, the next, gone. Imagine you were there, walking home on that fateful night, and suddenly, everything changes. This part genuinely gave me chills. Now here's the thing, what really happened to Quinn? You won't believe what happened to Quinn Hanna Gray. One moment she's there, the next, gone. Imagine you were there, walking home on that fateful night, and suddenly, everything changes. This part genuinely gave me chills. Now here's the thing, what really happened to Quinn? You're walking in Quinn's shoes, the streets are empty, and the only sound is your footsteps echoing off the buildings. And then, a figure appears in the distance, but it's not Quinn. So, what was she doing out here all alone? Look, the police found her phone on the ground, but the call log was empty. Which, honestly, makes no sense when you think about it. Now here's the thing, can you really blame her for taking that shortcut? You're left standing there, wondering what drew Quinn to this spot. Now here's the thing, her phone's call log was empty, but the police did find a cryptic text message, "Meet me at the old warehouse at midnight." This part genuinely gave me chills. Which, honestly, makes no sense when you think about it. And I know what you're thinking, who was she supposed to meet? Imagine you were there, standing in front of the old warehouse, the only sound being the creaking of the rusty gate, and then, a text message pops up, "Meet me at the old warehouse at midnight." This part genuinely gave me chills. But what if that message wasn't just a simple meet-up? What if it was a trap? You start to wonder, who could have sent that message? You're staring at the text message, and suddenly the darkness feels suffocating. What was Quinn Hanna Gray's secret? And I know what you're thinking, this can't be real. But here's the thing, the truth is, we may never know. This part genuinely gave me chills. What was she hiding? Imagine you were there, walking in Quinn's shoes, the silence is deafening, the shadows are moving. Now here's the thing, what if she wasn't who you thought she was? This case has so many layers. And I know you're wondering, what triggered her disappearance? Stay with me here, as we try to piece together the events of that fateful night. A question lingers, what was she running from? You're trying to piece together the life of Quinn Hanna Gray, but every new discovery raises more questions. What was she hiding? And I know what you're thinking, how could someone so seemingly ordinary be linked to such a bizarre disappearance? This part genuinely gave me chills. Now here's the thing, what if her whole life was a carefully constructed lie? Imagine you were there, standing in Quinn's empty apartment, the silence deafening. Now here's the thing, a single photograph on the floor, a face scratched out, which, honestly, makes no sense when you think about it. This part still sends shivers down my spine. But what's really bothering you is, who's the person in the picture? You're staring at this photo, trying to make sense of it, a face scratched out, but why? And I know what you're thinking, who could have done this? This part genuinely gave me chills. Now here's the thing, the more you look at it, the more questions you have, like, what's the story behind this photo? Imagine you were there, standing in the shadows, watching as Quinn Hanna Gray's life began to unravel, a single photo, a face scratched out, and you can't help but wonder, what drove someone to do this? But what if I told you, the truth is even darker, and that's what makes this case so haunting. Stay with me here, as we dig into the mysteries of Quinn's past. A shocking discovery awaits, and I have to ask, can you handle what's coming next? You're getting closer to the truth, but the more you learn, the more you realize, nothing is as it seems. Now here's the thing, a cryptic message was found on Quinn's phone, which reads, "They're watching." This part genuinely gave me chills. And I know what you're thinking, who's behind this? Stay with me here, as we dig deeper, the darkness surrounding Quinn's life starts to surface. But can you handle what's about to be revealed? Imagine you're staring at Quinn's phone, the screen glowing with an ominous message, they're watching. This part genuinely gave me chills. But what does it mean? Are you being watched too? You're trying to process this cryptic message, they're watching, and what it could mean for Quinn's disappearance. Now here's the thing, this message was sent just hours before she vanished. And I know what you're thinking, who could be watching? Stay with me here, as we dig into Quinn's final days, a disturbing pattern starts to emerge. This part genuinely gave me chills, and now you're left wondering, what's happening next? Imagine you were in Quinn's shoes, receiving that chilling message, they're watching. This part genuinely gave me chills. But what if it wasn't just a random threat? What if someone was actually monitoring her every move? You're left wondering, who could be behind this, and how did they know her so well? Which, honestly, makes no sense when you think about it. And now, you're about to find out something that will change everything. Now here's the thing, you're probably thinking Quinn's stalker was just some creep, but what if it was someone close to her? Someone she trusted. And I know what you're thinking, how could they get away with it? But look, the stats are shocking, 70% of stalking cases involve someone the victim knows. Stay with me here, as we dig into Quinn's inner circle, you start to realize, it could have been anyone. Which, honestly, makes no sense when you think about it. So, you have to ask yourself, who was really watching Quinn? You're left wondering, what really drove Quinn's disappearance? This part genuinely gave me chills. And as you sit there, trying to piece together the evidence, a haunting question lingers, what if the truth is still out there, hidden behind a mask of trust? Which, honestly, makes no sense when you think about it. So, you're forced to ask, will we ever find out what happened to Quinn Hanna Gray? Now you're staring into the darkness, trying to make sense of Quinn's vanishing act, and I know what you're thinking, what's the truth behind that fateful night? Stay with me here, as you ponder the evidence, a chill runs down your spine. But here's where it gets really strange, the more you learn, the more you realize how little you know. What do you think happened? Comment below. You're left with more questions than answers, and this part genuinely gave me chills, what really drove Quinn to vanish? The truth, much like Quinn herself, remains elusive, and you can't shake the feeling that you're missing something. But here's the thing, can you really trust the evidence? Now you're staring at the cold, dark truth, a disappearance that's as baffling as it is terrifying. And I know what you're thinking, what's the real story behind Quinn's vanishing act? This part still haunts me. Look, the facts are murky, but one thing's for sure, Quinn Hanna Gray's case will leave you with a lasting sense of unease, and a question, what really happened to her? You're left with a haunting question, what really drove Quinn to vanish? This part genuinely gave me chills. But here's where it gets really strange, the case remains unsolved, and you can't help but wonder, what if Quinn's still out there? What do you think happened? Comment below. You're left with a haunting question, what really drove Quinn to vanish? This part genuinely gave me chills. But here's where it gets really strange, the case remains unsolved, and you can't help but wonder, what if Quinn's still out there? What do you think happened? Comment below.